So go ahead. I want you to look at this code and explain this code for me. Starting from the head and the files over here. Talk about them. Let me hear what you have to say. I just want to be sure you know what coding is. Unmute yourself so I can hear.
Well, the code starts as usual with the HTML tag, and then the head tag is opened, and then there is a link connecting the HTML to the CSS, sorry. And then there's a body tag open there where where you open a div and it has the ID container. And then there's another div that is open with the div ID screen called screen. But but you didn't close the first div you opened.
I did. This is where I closed. Oh, the first div. That's why it's called container. It's holding everything. That's why. As you can see, there's
Okay.
yes.
And then there's another class equals keypads. You also didn't close that one, or is it the same type?
Is also this keypad you're referring to? Is it a child element or a parent element of
Child element.
the child element? Okay, so it's a child element. This is where we closed it. So
Okay, close this here.
yes.
And then you have a bunch of different buttons with IDs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 0. Then you have the plus, minus signs and other signs. And then you close that div. And then you close both of the divs that you opened earlier, the child divs. And then there's a script tag to connect the HTML to the JavaScript page. And then you close the body, then you close HTML.
Okay, so how does this CSS file relate to that page? Explain. If you want me to go back and forth to the HTML file, I'm ready to do that.
You said?
Can you explain the CSS file?
Okay, I can. First, we have the parent div which you open, that is ID as container, which is, and then inside there we have the background color, which it shows as aquamarine. Then you made a width, and then margin left and margin top there. The width is 150 px, the margin left is 300 px. Separate. Another tag with padding. You have two tags, padding left and padding top, and then 10 px there in both of them. And then for the screen ID, you have the same style there, and you also have a background color there with the width and height and the margin bottom. And then in the dot keypad,
Okay,
which is
so my question is, where does this styling apply to the HTML? Take a look at it very well and point it over on this side. Tell
okay,
me
so
where.
for the div container, it is for the div container, it is referring to everything. Wait, sorry, for which one? Is it for the screen?
For the screen, yes.
For the screen, it is referring to the button ID, to the 4 to 1 to 3. Wait, I'm confused.
Take a look at it again.
It is referring to which one? It's referring to everything related to all the buttons that are inside the div class keypads that are inside the div below it.
This is the ID screen.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. I forgot there was something inside. So it's referring to the item inside right screen.
This.
Yes, it is referring to that.
So it's not affecting these ones.
It's not.
Okay, let's go back to CSS. What about this? Keypads.
The keypad.
Keypads.
The keypad is affecting. Sorry, go back. It's affecting all the button IDs and it is affecting all the buttons.
Okay, so are you saying that this background color and height and width will only apply to the buttons alone? It's not going to apply to screen.
It won't apply to screen.
Okay, so let's go and check this out because this is the lesson for the class that you are ahead of, and I have to be very sure that you know what you are doing and you have crossed that level. So let's actually preview this website and see what that page really looks like. Let's see what that page looks like. Okay. Okay, this is what that page looks like. Can you see the screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so you are absolutely correct. You are correct. Let's expand it from. Let me refresh the page again. So let's expand the div. This is container. It's a container, and this is screen. This is screen, right? Right. So and the ID. So that's everything within this box. All the styles remains there. You are right. Then we have another div for keypads, and there is there's actually, it's highlighted already, and on the screen you can see div keypads, which means it's affecting everything on that particular section. So you're absolutely right.
Yes.
All right, can you explain? Let's go back to the code because I want to explain this. Tell me what exactly is happening here. Let's go back. Yes, explain to me what is happening here. Why are we having all these ID, button ID, arithmetic, BTN? Why are we using this?
They all have the same IDs. They all have the same ID. So when it is applied, when a styling code is applied, it is applied to all of them.
Apply to all of them.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I think someone is in this meeting. I don't know if it's Mitchell. Mitchell, are you there? Who is there? Derek or Mitchell? Can you hear me? Okay, so Derek or Mitchell? Who is there?
That's me.
Okay, Derek. Derek, do you agree with what Jidechi is saying about the codes?
I'm not even sure. Wait, I'm not even sure what he's saying.
Yeah, he said that button ID that has this ARITBTN, the ID will cause all the buttons to inherit the same styling from this ID, RITBTN. Do you agree with that?
Yes, sir. It'll affect anything with the same ID as it.
It will affect everything with the same ID, right? Okay.
So,
Okay, so that's correct. We previewed the page not quite long ago, and we saw that the buttons were all having the same color. So that means if we go to our CSS, which of these, Derek, your question is for you. Which of these styling will affect the buttons directly if we adjust the color? If we want to change the background color of the button, which of these IDs are we going to change?
so it's the RHBTN.
The RPTN. So let's say I want to change the color, update the color of this RPTN to green. What code am I going to write here?
So it depends. So my other question is that do you want to make the background color green, the hover green, this, or just you know what I mean?
Yeah, I want to update the background color to green.
Okay, then you just use the background hyphen color, hyphen color column, then equals to the column, then the color you want.
Okay, so I'm using a green.
Hello, Mr. David.
Yeah.
It's Michelle.
Okay, Michelle.
I won't be
Okay,
able to join this meeting. I'm busy.
no problem. No
Okay.
problem. Yeah.
I'll tell you for this.
Okay. So let's go back and check and see what happens based on Derek's advice. So let's refresh. Okay. Okay, that's correct. That's correct. For the text, I want the text to be white. Chidechi, how do I handle that? Chidechi, I'm listening. How do we handle that?
How do we add? I didn't hear you.
We want to update the color of the buttons to white, the color of the text to white. Where do we apply the
Which
code? Let's go back to the
yes,
browser.
apply for the numbers and symbols.
Yes, numbers and symbols, all the buttons. I want the text to be white. Which of these IDs are we going to update?
You want the numbers and symbols to be white.
Yes.
ARITBTN.
Okay, so what code am I going to apply here?
You already applied background color for it.
That background color. I want for the text.
Okay, for the text. I'm coming. I'm struggling to hear you, sorry.
I want to update the text color. What do I do?
I can't hear you. I'm not sure if it's my network, guys, but I'm struggling to hear what you're saying.
Hello, I think I can hear you now. Yeah, go ahead, Jechi. Can you hear me?
Text. Yes, I can hear you now.
Do you want me to
Text
go back?
and
Do you want me to go back to the browser so that you can see it? And then,
yes.
okay. So I want this number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want these numbers itself. The colors are black. I want it to be white. What code am I going to use to change the color of the text?
Use text in the arrays. Yes. Enter. Click enter. Text. Hyphen.
Yes, text what?
Hyphen.
You're not getting what you want here.
Sorry. Sorry, it's color. Then column. Then you pick a color.
Okay, let's go on. Let's go on. Move on. Let's check and see what it looks like. Okay, so you're right. You're right, but it's fine. Okay, so that's for the CSS, HTML, and now let's take a little look at the JavaScript section. I'm going to ask you guys questions, so prepare yourself. All right, so Derek, explain this line of code for me.
This is just a script tag. It's used to, it's like the link for JavaScript. It's used to connect the HTML to the JavaScript.
Okay, link to connect the HTML to JavaScript. Very fine. Okay, so Jidechi, why are we using this particular HTML property here? Why are we using this? And what does SRC stands for?
Why are we using this word? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
SRC. Why are we using SRC over here? What does it stand for?
It stands for source.
Stands for source. So what is it going to do?
It is the source of where the JavaScript file is from. It is the name of JavaScript file. Just telling where the JavaScript, explain the name of JavaScript file.
Okay, so Derek, which of these 3 files are we going to work with if we want to update, add functionalities to the button so that the buttons can do something? Is it the CSS, the HTML? Which of them?
So it's the last one.
The
That
last
has
one.
the JS.
Okay.
So, Mr. David, I'm here.
Okay. Mitchell?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Okay, no problem. All right, so we have, in our JavaScript, we have var screen area equals document of query selector screen, var keypad equals document of query selector keypads. All right. Okay, so document of query selector helps us to do what? Chidechi, over to you. Document or query selector is a method that does what? Jidechi, over to you.
Yes.
The question is for you, Jidechi. Explain. Document or query selector helps us to do what?
A particular variable or class.
It was?
It's a method that selects a particular variable or class.
Okay, that selects a particular variable. That selects a particular variable or class. I can't hear you. The network is breaking. I think you need to move away from the position where you are presently to where you have more ventilation so that your network will be much better.
It, as I said before, it helps to select variables or classes.
Okay, these variable or classes, where are they coming from? Where can these variables or classes?
From your HTML.
So you're saying that HTML have variables. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, there are variables in our HTML page.
Oh, really? I'm just trying to get you clearly. I understand for class, but I don't know where we get our variables from HTML. Do we assign variables in any of these tags? Did we assign variables, or where do we create variables? What are you referring to variables so that I can get you clearly?
Helps to select IDs and classes.
IDs and classes. Okay, I think I'm clear with that. All right, let me go back to you, Derek. Why are we using this?
Sir.
Why are we using the hash symbol over here?
So the hash symbol is used when instead of a class, we use an ID to name an element.
So David, I'm also here. You can ask me a question.
Okay, no problem. I'll ask you a question. Sure. Okay, so now we use the equal symbol here. We use equal symbol here. So Mitchell, can you explain why? Can you explain why we're using the equal symbol here?
It's because when we use the document.query selector, we're getting the ID from HTML. So the equal sign is to show that that is the value of the variable key path.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So our variable over here has a value, and the value is what is on the right-hand side. Our variable is on the left-hand side. Okay. I throw the next question to Jidechi. Why are we using the var keyword over here?
Sorry.
Yeah, why are we using the var keyword over here? Jidechi, can you give us an answer?
We are using the var keyword because to create a variable.
Okay. So without the var keyword, there's no way we can create a variable, right?
Yes, for either an ID or a class.
All right, I agree with you. Now, quickly, I'm going to show you guys something which I've not introduced to you guys before now, but I'm going to do that quickly so you can quickly grab it. Then you start using it. I want you to stop using var. Henceforth, you'll be using what I want to teach you now. I want to start using let keyword to be creating your variable. So let x equals 5. Okay, and const y equals 6. Are you with me? Now, the reason why you're using the let keyword, this is an updated version of JavaScript. I don't want you to be using var keyword anymore. I want you to start using let. Now, when you use let keyword, there is something called variable reassignment, okay? You begin with the let keyword X, and then you said, okay, along the line, let's say your X here is going to be score, all right? And the score is going to begin with 0. All right, so when you console.log, let me ask you guys this question. If I console.log score, if I console.log score, what will I get on my screen? Mitchell. Mitchell.
Oh, okay, so if you console the log score, I think it's going to show none. I'm not sure.
Okay, I get you. Derek, what's it going to give us?
So I feel like it will give us 0 because technically 0 is still an integer.
Okay, it's going to give you 0 because the problem, I believe you guys are battling with the let keyword over here because I just introduced it to you. Let, all right, I want you to be using let to represent your var. So you are creating a variable here called score, and the value is equal to 0. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So we use the variable name rather than the value. So all we have to do is to console the value, which is 0, but we use the name score. Now, variable reassignment. Once you create a variable name, you don't have, even if you want to reuse it, you don't say let score equals 13. You're going to get an error. As you can see, computer is underlining this for me. It's saying cannot redeclare what? A block variable. Something that you have created, you cannot create it again. So rather, you can reuse the name and give it a new value. So you can update your score from 0 to 13, turning over here. Okay, so in a nutshell, if you console.log again, what you're going to get is 13. Why? Because you have reassigned a new value to your initial variable that you created over here. All right, but you cannot do that with const. Const means you're creating a variable that's going to be permanent. So if you create a variable y, you cannot come down and reassign it again to 8. It's not possible. Computer is going to throw you an error when you console.log y. It will tell you that const y cannot be changed or updated. And that is how it works. So as a pro, you guys are at the forefront of these lessons. Other learners should be learning from you guys. And once in a while, I might call you guys to join my class or my meeting so that you can actually correct some of the upcoming students to know what they should do and how they should write their codes very well. But one thing I want you to get from this class is the let keyword and the const keyword. If you are creating a game, you want to use let for score because the score will be increasing as the user keeps hitting the target. Do you agree with me? Do you agree with me? Yeah.
Yes.
So, okay.
Yes, sir.
When you are creating a tax app, you want to use const for the tax amount, taxable amount. That means, sorry, the tax value. That is, the tax could be 30%, which is 0.3, 0.5. So that figure has to be constant. So you need to use the keyword const task equals 0.3. Const, so you don't update the tax value. All right, the salary can be let because the user can input anything. So when you are using prompt to get a user value, you cannot use const at that point. You can use let, because a new user can come in and type in their value. The values can change, but when you are changing the value, you can now say, okay, let me use const. But I have a question. In a currency converter app, for example, you guys should put yourselves together, because there's an app I want to create, and it's going to be, I want to create a radio app, a website where people can go in and they can just listen, watch radio and all that. Then I'm going to also create an app for TV. People can watch online TV as well. So you just get yourself prepared so that you can create the buttons, fine tune it, use Bootstrap, get some other things. Then you're also going to learn how to use Figma. I'm going to introduce you to Figma, where you do some amazing, beautiful designs. Then you share with me and tell me why you select that design and the color mix as well. So, like a currency converter app, do you think that the price, let's say we are converting Naira to dollar, do you think are we going to use const for the dollar value, or we're going to use let for it? Who wants to answer that question? Are we going to use let? We want to make our currency converter app. So we'll be converting 1,000 Naira to dollar and get the value. So the dollar amount, are we going to use let or const to create and store the value of the dollar price before the conversion? Are we going to use let keyword or const keyword?
Let keyword, because the dollar rate changes.
Dollar rate changes. Okay, that's fantastic. That's good. All right. So I don't think that app will need a const value, because it's not an app that's going to store users' calculations and whatever. We are not storing anything. All right. If it's a banking app and we're going to find out the person's account balance, then if it's a banking app and we're going to get the person's account balance, then what we need to do is try our possible best to figure out if that value is going to change. Account balance, does it update? Derek?
Yes, I update.
Are we going to use a let or const keyword for it?
Const keyword.
Const keyword. Do we use const keyword for values that can change, or values that cannot be changed?
So we use it for things that
we use const keyword for what?
So we use it for things that can be changed.
Okay. Now I need you to understand what I'm saying over here. From here, const keyword, const y equals 6. I said if we can update score from 0 to 13 because we're using let keyword. Let keyword allow you to reassign a new value to an existing variable like score, that is already existing over here. So we can update it. But when we use const keyword, we cannot update the value of the variable. So const keyword is used to create values that can never be changed or updated, so that users cannot manipulate it. Like the score, a person score in results, like vheck. You see, once the figures, the answers have been captured, they are stored in the results. So maths score equals 79. English score equals 80. We can't be using let maths, let English, let geography. We use const mathematics, const English, const geography, because those figures must not be changed, because wherever the person goes all over the world, you want to always present the same figure. Do you understand? Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
Okay, so I'm teaching you. Yeah, I'm teaching you guys these things because you'll be creating apps and you need to start using the right JavaScript variables. All right, use the right keywords, and I believe you'll be a better programmer. Okay. Okay.
Okay,
So,
sir.
Mr. David,
yes. Okay.
so the question is, you said that let, you can reassign if you use let, but it is saved. But what if you use variable? Would it be saved, or would it be allowed to reassign itself? Sorry, you will not be allowed to.
Variable is outdated. We use it to explain it, but it's been updated now, because aside let and const, there are other things that are involved with let keyword and const keyword, which I'm going to teach you. They are called global scoping. All right. So var keyword is doing so many things. You know, there are so many things var can do, and it can affect your program. Okay, because there are cases where you need to write some codes that must not go outside a function or a method. And if you use var, if you create a variable with let inside a function, you cannot access that variable outside that function. So we are getting there gradually. I will explain later. But when you use var, anywhere in your code, var will be, even if you use it in a function and you want it, and you don't want that particular variable to grow